All right, Pastor, leadership team, thank you for your time. The goal here is pretty simple, to give you a really clear, straightforward look at where we stand with the building renovation. We're going to walk through the numbers, lay out the options on the table, and then talk about the immediate next steps we need to take.
You know, I think this quote from one of your own planning meetings really it says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly frames the challenge in front of us. For 25 years, this building has served us so well. But now it's time to address that deferred maintenance to make sure it's here for the next 25 years. Okay, so let's get right into it. Section 1, the $1.7 million problem. We're going to break down that financial gap. So here's the big number, $1.7 million. That's the total estimated cost for all the essential work. And I want to be really clear, this isn't just about the HVAC. We're talking about crucial electrical upgrades, siding and trim work, the stuff that really protects the bones of this building. And this chart, this really lays it all out visually. First, let's just acknowledge the incredible success of the Pillars of Promise campaign. Raising $1.2 million in pledges is just fantastic. But as you can see, it still leaves us with a gap. We're looking at about a $500,000 difference between the total cost and what's been pledged. But here's the kicker. The problem is actually twofold. It's not just about the $500,000 gap. It's about cash flow, right now. We need cash on hand to even get this thing started, to sign contracts, to order materials. And get this, the main AC unit for the sanctuary, that has a 6-month lead time. We have to pay for it in full just to get them to start building it. So we've got a timing problem on top of a funding problem.
All right, so that's the situation. We're at a critical crossroads. So let's talk about choosing our path forward.
So we basically have two main options on the table. On the one hand, we could try to phase the project, do it piecemeal. We could use the cash we have right now to tackle the most urgent things first, like that AC unit. The other option, secure the full financing we need up front and just get the whole thing done, efficiently and all at once.
So let's dig into that first option a little deeper. What are the risks of a phased approach? Turns out there's a pretty high cost to delay.
Doing this piecemeal seems tempting, but it comes with a whole host of risks. It ends up being way more labor-intensive, which means it gets more costly. Think about it. Every time we stop and restart, we have to pay the contractors just to get set up again. That's money down the drain. Plus, we're totally exposed to price increases. Prices have already gone up 3%, and another 3% hike is expected. And honestly, with most of these units a decade past their prime, we're just playing a waiting game for the next one to fail.
And again, one of your own committee members really hit the nail on the head with this one. This quote is powerful. The feeling is that if we try to piecemeal this, it's not just going to cost more, it might never actually get finished. It's a really stark warning. Okay, so if phasing is the risky path, that really leaves us with one responsible choice, completing this project all at once. So how do we do that? Let's look at 3 paths to full funding, 3 ways we can tackle this.
This table gives you a really nice, clean, at-a-glance look at the 3 financing options. What you're seeing here is the monthly payment for the first 3 years. That's while the pledges are coming in, and then what the long-term payment would look like starting in 2029 after that pledge period is over. Okay, option number 1, a construction to permanent loan. You can think of this as the rip the Band-Aid off approach. We borrow the full $1.7 million right up front. For the first few years, while we're collecting pledges, we only pay the interest. Then, as that incredible $1.2 million in pledge money flows in, we use it to slash down the principal. What's left converts into a much, much smaller and more manageable mortgage. Now, option 2 is pretty interesting. It's a bridge loan. And what's clever about this one is that it uses our own endowment as collateral to get the funds. It's a bridge to get us over this construction period. But here's the really powerful part. If the pledge collections come in strong, there's a real possibility we could pay this off entirely and end up with no long-term mortgage at all. That's a pretty amazing potential outcome.
And finally, option 3 is what we call a 2-phase loan. The biggest advantage here, its main selling point, is that it gives us the lowest initial monthly payment. And it does this by splitting the financing into 2 clean pieces. There's a short-term bridge loan for the $1.2 million that the pledges will completely cover, and then there's a separate, smaller mortgage just for that $500,000 gap. It's very clean, very predictable.
So, those are the options. The big question is, where do we go from here? Let's talk about your next steps, a clear, actionable timeline.
Okay, here's the immediate action plan. It's 3 simple steps. Step 1, we need to formally ask the Finance Committee to take the lead on exploring these financing options. Step 2, we gather up all the required paperwork, audited financials, the pledge report, all of it. And step 3, we take that paperwork and go to 2 or 3 recommended lenders to get formal offers or term sheets so we can compare them side by side. These 3 steps are absolutely crucial to do our homework and make sure we get the best possible deal for the church.
And this brings us to the final point, because really, this decision is about more than just money or construction. It's about stewardship. It's about securing the future of this church. So, all the information is on the table. We've laid out the challenge, we've seen the risks of waiting, and we've explored the paths to get this done right. The choice that you all make in the coming weeks is truly going to set the foundation for the next chapter of the United Church of Chapel Hill. The only question left is the one you see right here. How will you invest now to secure the next 25 years for your church?